Good evening and welcome to The Guitar Effect. I'm Rob. So this evening, in the third installation of our Cool Affordable Pedals series, we're covering the MP Custom Effects Analog Delay. This particular one is the Analog Delay with Modulation. Let me tell you about Modulus Modulated. So Modulus Modulated is I think, correct me now if I'm wrong with us, Ukrainian audio engineer, electronic engineer, and either current or retired fighter pilot. He's a really, really interesting guy. I came across Modulus on Henning Pauli's YouTube channel, where he covers an awful lot of his pedals, and Henning really rates him quite highly. So I was aware of him, but I hadn't really investigated it at all. And then I came across one of his pedals on a free ads website in Dublin, where I buy a lot of my gear. A lot of us musicians in Ireland use that website to trade pedals, guitars, amps, the whole thing. So that's where I get a lot of my stuff. I've been thinking for a time about putting together a pedal board strictly for recording, where I kept as much stuff analog as possible so I could keep the power supply quiet. And I also just find that analog pedals are a bit more immediate and inspiring, so I wanted something like that for recording, where there was no presets or anything like that. It was just stomp boxes on a board. Incidentally, this affordable pedal series are all on this board, so at the end of this series I'm going to go through the board and how I use it. But back to today. So the MP Custom Effects Analog Delay with Modulation. So one last thing that's really cool about working with Modulus: he designs and thus allows you to design the graphics on top of each pedal. So this one that I'm looking at tonight, I didn't design the graphics off myself, but I was so impressed with this that I've since gotten a Voodoo Vibe style pedal off him, which again is completely mad sounding and really inspirational, and I've really got still to get my head around how to use it. But so here is the analog delay, and I've got the modulation turn. So you can hear it's very much an analog delay. It's not as dull sounding as, say, a Boss DM2 or something like that. It's more, I think, in the carbon copy category. And I have a reverb on, by the way. I'm using the Cox Studio Tone 20 and my parts caster. So, yes, as I said, the repeats are dull, but in a nice way. So I'm going to just give it a bit more mix now. So you can see as you come around on the mix control to the past 12 o'clock, the repeats get louder than the original. And if I bring the time up, you can get very, very washy. Clipping there. So yeah, it's got that very pronounced, when you have it up this high, analog sound to it. Just to show you the maximum time that's available, I'm going to bring this knob over to full. I don't know what it is in milliseconds, but I think it's longer or as long as any delay I'd ever need to use. Bring the mix back a bit, bring the time back to a slightly faster time. So I'll just bring you through a piece kind of about how I would kind of use this pedal most likely. Yeah, without the modulation. Yeah, it's a really, really lovely analog delay. So I'll just show you with a little bit of dirt how it sounds. It's interesting how it pairs with dirt. I'm using a pedal in front of it here because it's all in front of my amp, and if it's returned to the dirty channel of my amp, I find that it doesn't work particularly well in front of a drive. Or in front of a dirty channel that has to have a drive in front of it. So you'd have to use a 4-cable method if you wanted to use it in an amp setup, in my opinion anyway, unless you like delay in front, which can be useful, and I might cover that a little bit at the end of the video. So you can see it doesn't get in the way. I'm going to just do that again. You can see how atmospheric it really works well like that. So I'm going to demonstrate the modulation side of the pedal now. The modulation is very much a deluxe memory man sort of modulation, so it's really, really pronounced. When I have it down here in the low registers, like around the 9 o'clock kind of mark, it's quite pleasant. So adds a little bit of warble. I'm going to give it a bit more mix for this. Adds a little bit of warble. Really, really pleasant way. You can hear the modulation there, and it repeats as they die out. Okay, so that's the modulation. Kind of sounds like a gentle chorus, right? So if I wind the speed up, wind the depth up, but leave the speed where it's at, it can get quite mad. So I can't really think of a use even for that. You can also dial speed up. But I think really it only becomes very pronounced when you dial the depth up. Perhaps if I make the time longer. Like you can see there, or here obviously, it's a beautiful sounding delay. Yeah, the modulation works really, really well. Just to bring the compressor in with it as well. So this is the force field that I covered in another video. I'll do a big long modulate. So this is a very modulated delay. Just make checking the time was right. This is a modulated delay setting from one of my own band songs called Lonely Lives, and it's a very big sort of compressed, clean, modulated part. I'd even bring the mix up more than that. Arpeggiated chords as well, it's gorgeous. So maybe the last clean thing I'll show you is maybe a little bit of a slap sound. So I have the mix up quite high, the repeats low, and the time really short. And maybe the modulation off. And tune it back up. I'm not any sort of a country player. But I think it handles. There's a little nice slap. So, how does it handle dirt? Like I said, I'm on a clean channel on my amp, and I don't have a distortion pedal per se in this board, but I do have both the Seven Sisters Ruby fuzz and also the Fux fuzz, which I've done a demo of. So as a fuzz pedal, as a delay over a fuzzy lead, so it's a messy, like back pickup, strat, trebly lead. Not to everyone's taste, but I like messy kind of playing like that, and I think it handles that really well. So the other thing you can do is use it as a big atmospheric delay. So I'm going to turn up the mix again, and maybe put the modulation on this time and give it quite a pronounced modulation. So this is going to be very noisy, so just bear with me for a sec. Yeah. So that is the Seven Sisters Ruby fuzz, and as you can hear, it's got lovely sustain, but I'm going to hit it with the tube screamer in front to get more mid. think it handles that really, really well. So then I suppose maybe the last thing to show will be a bit of dirty rhythm playing. So that is the Milos Popovich analog delay. I know there is a name for it. It's not on this pedal anywhere. So it's an analog delay with modulation. If you're interested in this pedal or any handmade crazy inspirational kind of pedals, get in contact with Modulus Modulated. He's on Facebook. He's easy to find. MP Custom Effects. Can't recommend him highly enough. He's a really, really helpful guy, really knowledgeable, really good communication. I think his prices are very reasonable, and the pedals are one-off because, as I said, you can design the graphics yourself, and also his circuits are quite innovative. So that is the Modulus Popovich Custom Effects Analog Delay with Modulation. You've been watching The Guitar Effect. My name's Rob, and I'll see you soon.